Yeah, so welcome to another episode. So, after a week of not doing anything because of sheer laziness, I was like, alright, cool, it's time to install some lights, finish this bad boy up. I decided to just, spend some money and get the through bulkhead thing, the waterproof gland stuff, and then you kind of hardwire everything in, and then you're supposed to, like, cap this, and then it compresses that. But it turns out that if you kind of don't thread this through first and then put the little rubber grommet, you kind of have to undo this amazing soldering and heat shrink job. Yay. I've got the nav lights wired in. I've got a flood light there. Now I've got my stern running light on. And then I have this nice little pad eye installed, bedded with some silicone. Alfie is just chilling there. Man, that light's bad for the camera. Alfie's chilling there. Runs entertaining. And my nav light. Next thing is to put a rest right here, 1.5 inches up, on this side and that side. And then paint that piece of plywood so that I can lay that on top, and that way I have a place to lay down on and be comfortable. Alternatively, I could probably just get some blue foam and just ooh. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with some blue foam and then put a little coat of paint on it so it's whatever this green paint is, and then just literally just boom. I'll cut it into little sections that sits there, and then that way it's at least lightweight, and then I'm not sitting on these because that sounds painful, and then it'll not add flotation. Here's the battery box that I made. It's just a whole lot of bad. Well, something doesn't work. Oh, that's exciting. Well, that means I gotta inspect that and make sure that that works. But yeah, what's happening is I have a bad connection somewhere, either inside there. I'm gonna pack the inside of these connections with some DI electric grease, whatever grease it is for electronics, to keep them waterproof. But motor's here. It's still working great so far. Hopefully that's way too bright for the light for the camera. Next thing is, once I've got light mounts coming in that are a little bit taller so that it actually floats above the navigation light so that it doesn't, bounce off of it like that. But everything's looking good. That's installed. I need to tighten that down a little bit more, and then we'll be good to go. I know I said I was just going to throw some foam in there and cut some pieces out and whatever, and then I was like, yeah, no, never mind. I already had the plywood available. But pro tip, if you're going to test fit your platform and it's a nice snug fit, maybe, just maybe, put some finger holes in it so you can pick it up without, pinching your finger off, because it's kind of hard to take it straight off if there's no way to do it. Right? That's a bit awkward. So, you're going to want to drill a hole something that looks like this. Yeah, I probably didn't do that well at all either. But yeah, drill a hole there. That way you can just, pull your whole thing up, and then that way you can stop panicking about it. So, yeah. Time to paint it, because I'm not fiberglassing this. So I've got a light bar installed. I did it horribly, mainly because I didn't plan ahead and ensure that there was a way for me to actually reach a through bolt so that I can actually bolt it down to make sure. So instead I got a wood screw and some washers that are just jammed in there, and that's holding it in there. So I know I'm one bad collision away, or one bad day, or one good oopsie where I grabbed the light bar instead of a handle that I have yet to put on here. I'll probably be putting a handle back here so that I have something to pick it up when I'm dragging it out of the truck. I've got these rope nylon thingies. Oh, these. I literally paused the video to. I'm gonna use these as a mounting spot, so I'll have maybe 2 or 3 up here on both sides, a couple along, or 4 or 5 along the side, and then onesie twosies in the back, and then that way I have a spot to attach some of that green garden fencing, and I'm going to use the that plastic green garden fence that everybody uses. I'll use that, and then to be able to zip tie it to these. That way I can attach the whatever raffia grass or whatever random camo mesh cheap cloth I've got off of Amazon, attach it to it so that I can just take it on and off when I need to, and that way it doesn't have to stay. I'm gonna paint one more coat of this. This camo job, I kind of like how that looks better than I like how this looks, but I also know that I need to put some darker green grass on here, green lines. Using this stencil right here, I know I jumped around, but I literally used my laser cutter and a piece of foam. If you're gonna do that, make sure you get black foam instead of white foam so that I can actually focus the energy. But lay that down, and then I sprayed it. So now I got to use some, the darker green, and then and maybe black, and then just spray paint it so that it's looking good. After that, I decided to just go with a piece of plywood. So I need to put, I'm gonna take 2 foam strips, maybe 4 inches wide, put them on both sides all the way down. That way it just rests right on top of it. Battery pack will go here just like I showed you. And then when it's not raining anymore, because it's Washington, when it's not raining anymore or the raining pauses, I will go take it out to a lake and find out if any of the lovely joints from here, from the actual bottom of the hole up, leak. And if there's no leaks, then I'm going to flip it over and actually paint it with the gliding, the Gator Glide stuff. Yeah, Gator Glide. But I'm almost there. The lights work. I'm super excited. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. So 8, 10, 12. I don't know. I had enough iPad eyes to do 2 on top here, 4 along the side because that's the long stretch, and then 2 on top here. Do another walk around. Excuse me there, Alfie. And then 4 alongside here. I don't know what that is. 8, 10, 12. 12, right? Yeah, 4 and 4 is 8, and 2 is 10, and sweet maths. Anyway, that's what it looks like now. So I'll have a long piece that goes that way. It'll be all in piece. Are you gonna keep barking for the video? No? Awesome. You recording?
Mm-hmm.
Record real quick.
I've been recording.
You've been recording?
Yeah.
Well, it's floated so far, so. Yay.
What's the date?
I don't fucking know. It's the 15th, 14th. It's one of the dates.
It's December 14th.
Yeah. Time to see if it works. a boat. So I'm at a Great Lake. You saw a couple of videos, and here's me testing the kill switch I jury rigged, right? Hooray, it works. Okay. So it floats. It floats. There's a little bit of water in here from me collecting it in these boots because, I don't know. And it paddles well. I can't really record the paddling, but it paddles. Well, we're under power. It's going great. This is awesome. It's heavy. I have it leaning like that. I've got it leaning, let me zoom out a little bit. My transitions are horrible, but I've got it leaning like this to make sure that the little bit of water that did collect goes down there so I can wipe dry it up easier. There's no leakage from inside there. There was a part there, in the earlier video where I kind of put my weight on top of it with that open like an idiot. So it kind of let some water in there, but I closed it up. I'm getting a good bit of water back here, and that's because I was dumb and I didn't get a stern light that actually sealed. And there's a hole in there, so in one of those clips you saw where I was sitting too far back, the water is literally like climbing or hitting over this, and some of it's getting inside there. Not enough that it's the end of the world, but I am going to be undoing these screws, getting a piece of rubber, and then siliconing it all up really good on top of the rubber, and then clamp it back down. That way it kind of like makes it harder for water to get in there when I'm riding. Another thing I need to do for the tiller is got a tiller extension. Let me see if I can zoom in there. It's got a tiller extension because if I'm sitting too far back, as we saw, if I'm sitting back here, it squats too far down and it doesn't plane very well, which would be fine if it was like super icy and then the bow is just super high. I'd like to be sitting more in this area, and then that way more weights, it distributes the weight a little bit better. It handles chop really well so far. I literally drove in a giant circle and then ran into the waves, so it's really stable, and I'm excited for that. I tried putting all my weight on one side. Unfortunately, it does tip a little bit easy. If I were to just like press all my weight onto one side, it will lift the other edge pretty good. But I can stand on the bow just fine. I can stand on the stern just fine. I can reach over and climb, squat over, roll over if I have to. But if I were to try just standing on the edge, with how wide this cockpit is, I'm putting way too much leverage on the outside of it. That, and it's a relatively light boat. I'm looking at about 100 pounds on this. It was a struggle to get this into the back of my truck. I haven't even painted the bottom yet, which is kind of embarrassing. But I'm going to let this dry overnight. I'm going to flip it over, sand it, make sure it's ready to go, and then I'll put some Gator Glide on it. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Just let me know if you got any questions. And if you liked it, please hit the like button, I guess. Again, it's been helping out a lot since you guys have been hitting the like button. The video pops up a lot earlier on the search bar now if you were to search Waterfowl boat. So, hooray!